Welcome back. In today's tech breakdown, we are launching a critical resource investigation into the global water supply chain. Look, we need to talk about a massive problem right out of the gate, what experts are calling the death of stockpiling. But there is a solution, and it's called the $50 Smart Water Box. Before we dive into the data, make sure to like the video, subscribe for more independence hacks, and remember, you can always click the link in the description for the full $50 blueprint. Let's get right into it. So as you can see here, we're looking at a huge shift. On one side, we have this broken chain. That represents the death of stockpiling. Storing endless cases of bottled water is what the source calls a tenant strategy. You're basically just renting time on a global supply chain that is, frankly, snapping. But check out the alternative on the right. This is the $50 Smart Water Box. It's an incredible technological workaround that literally pulls up to 40 gallons of pure, uncontaminated water a day directly from thin air.
Which brings us to Section 1, the Point A trap, and the illusion of water security.
You know, a lot of people think they're completely safe just because they have a corner of their garage crammed with plastic jugs. But the hard data points to a single, pretty terrifying number: 3. Yeah, just 3. Once store shelves run dry, anyone relying purely on stockpiled plastic bottles is exactly 3 days away from a total zero-day crisis. It's a razor-thin margin of error between safety and disaster when you rely on consumer hoarding instead of actual independent production.
The source material completely dismantles why these old-school strategies are failing us. Take bottled water, for instance. Over time, those plastics leach some serious chemicals into your supply. What about municipal pipes? Well, relying on city infrastructure means trusting a network of 160-year-old corroding relics. Even with heavy-duty commercial filters, it's a huge gamble against modern, forever chemicals. And boiling water? While people always recommend it, boiling actually evaporates the water and just concentrates whatever heavy metals were left behind. It literally makes it more toxic.
So the core of this blueprint really hinges on this one stark claim. You are preparing for a 21st century collapse with 19th century tools. And honestly, when you think about it, looking down the barrel of a fragile supply chain, putting all your faith in aging city pipes and brittle plastic bottles, it's an incredibly dangerous gamble. Moving on to part 2, atmospheric tech breakdown, and making that crucial shift from consumer to producer. To really wrap our heads around this shift, the source introduces this awesome concept called niche bending. Basically, it's the practice of taking heavy-duty industrial atmospheric technology and adapting it into a personal survival asset. In the business world, assets that produce are always valued way more than storage that just depletes. This blueprint takes that exact logic, grabs high-level industrial concepts, and niche bends them so they work right in your backyard. And the stated capabilities of this smart water box, they are absolutely wild. I mean, first off, no well is required, and you can completely bypass city pipes. Through some really advanced atmospheric condensation, it claims to pull moisture directly from the air, even in bone-dry environments with just 10% desert humidity. The ultimate goal here is to literally turn your backyard into your own private water plant. Now, this whole concept is built on achieving true self-reliance. If you're finding this tech breakdown helpful and you really want to stay ahead of the curve, you've got to hit that subscribe button right now. Seriously, subscribe for more independence hacks so you don't miss out on the next vital piece of survival intelligence we investigate. Okay, part 3, the $50 mechanism, featuring our key evidence moments and the actual lab proof. The source lays out the point A to point B logic of how this device actually functions, and it breaks it down into 3 super straightforward steps. Step 1, you tap into the infinite reservoir of ambient air. Step 2, you use a LEGO-style blueprint to condense that ambient moisture. And step 3, you output pure H2O. Since it's pulled directly from the air, it literally never touches an aging lead pipe. Plus, the documentation makes it very clear. You absolutely do not need an engineering degree to put this thing together. And then we have to talk about the cost factor, $50. According to the creator, every single part you need to build this atmospheric condensation unit can be picked up today at your local hardware store for about $50. The whole pitch is that this isn't some elite $1,000 luxury system. It's a completely accessible workaround for everyone. But look, as a real resource investigation, we deal in hard facts, not just empty promises. Source credibility theory tells us that true trust requires radical transparency. So to really analyze the safety and efficacy of this tech, we have to dive into the actual lab data they provided. And here is a massive evidence moment. When this air water was actually sent out for independent lab testing, the results they showed were pretty definitive.
The smart water box samples showed absolute zero lead and zero industrial runoff. Now, contrast that with your traditional emergency bottled brands, which, as we know, carry those documented chemical leaching risks over time. They use these lab results to argue that this $50 DIY build straight up outperforms the emergency bottled brands sitting on the open market.
Which leads us to part 4, total water ownership and the overall ROI of independence. Way beyond just disaster prep, the source really hammers home the everyday return on investment here. Today, about 43.3% of consumers actively prefer eco-conscious brands. Building this DIY system is positioned as the ultimate sustainable move. You're producing zero plastic waste and requiring absolutely no grid energy. Financially speaking, they claim the box practically pays for itself in just a few months through all the money you save on utility bills and bottled water.
So for anyone looking to step off the grid and bypass these failing traditional strategies, this source material gives you the exact instructions. Right now, the creators are offering a bundle that includes the official Smart Water Box blueprint, but they also throw in an off-grid power guide and a survival seed bank secret. It's a limited time access kind of deal to really jumpstart that independence.
This entire investigation really leaves us with one final, critical question. Will you stop storing water and actually start producing it? If you're ready to make that shift from dependency to total water ownership, you can check out the source material for yourself. Go ahead and click the link in the description for the full $50 blueprint and decide exactly how you're going to secure your independence today.